So first I'm gonna make sure there's nothing in the way here. Get this radiator back in its position. Okay, now that we've done that, we'll keep everything kind of like aligned. So it looks like we had a genius install this pipe. Installed it directly behind that one. There's the most convenient spot for it. I don't know why people do that. They do. It's a good idea to always install that pipe the way it faces that, well, this clamp. It faces the direction of the light right here. And then you can easily get it. So it doesn't matter if it's facing from bottom, from the top, but it needs to be facing like this. I'm gonna remove the clamp from that, and as I remove it, super dirty, I go ahead and actually wipe it down. So this is good. Just put it over here for now. And now I need to do the same thing to that pipe. I think first I'll need to remove that clamp a little bit more. You see what I'm talking about? It's a lot easier getting it from this side. So much oil there. So here we have another pipe right there. So that's what we're going to use. So I want to go ahead and wipe this down. Okay. So there's actually a line here, but there's no line there. So that's what I'm talking about. When they put the lines, that shows you the correct way to install things. Yeah, I have this thing upside down. Oh no, I had it correctly. It's just so, this pipe is just so tight. That is a good thing that it's that tight. Okay. That's just too big of a screwdriver. I could now see why these screwdrivers are the best. These are Icon, but Snap-on is exactly the same. They provide the maximum grip that you need. Like, it's just really amazing. Like, this design is correct. It's just, I guess it fits really ergonomically to your hand. It allows you to twist them at any motion. Plus these ridges here will help. So that pipe is installed. Let's install the radiator cap for now. So now it's time for me to start attaching all the pipes. But I'm running a low battery. Guys, I'm gonna be trying to reconnect all the hoses and stuff. This is the best view that I could find for you. I know everybody got a lot of front views. This is gonna be the best that I could do as far as that goes. But anyways, let's get started. Right, so first we wanna make sure the radiator is nicely aligned at the bottom. We could still, you know, wiggle around and move things around as needed. Now this side to connect it is fairly easy. We're gonna start with the hardest side. So we have two transmission lines, which I will connect after I connect the radiator hose, which is at the bottom here. You can get access to it from the bottom through the light, and you could just squeeze that hose on there. It's not as easy as it looks. So now, I'm wondering if a clamp idea that I had, putting it from the bottom, probably not such a good idea. I'm going to twist it up. Be a lot easier to get to it. So trying to attach that hose is going to keep coming out, so you'll need to go ahead and get another hose in as well. When you do that, it will relieve some of the pressures and allow the hose to actually go where it needs to be. So now, the very first one I want to install is, gosh, the lower hose. Okay, that is good and tight. We don't want to overdo it, but it's good and tight now. Now, as far as this clamp, I gotta loosen it some more. So we're installing the intake hose clamp right now. So to install it, you could push the radiator closer to try to get it. And of course, it wants to twist over. That is not. It's not easy, but it happens. So if you align yourself like this in this position, it's easier to hold the clamp with your left hand and to be able to tighten it on this side. Make sure everything's on good. I'm gonna show you guys a close-up of this once I tighten it. That way you guys could have an idea. It's just, I can't really place the camera here and record. It's just not gonna be feasible, but I could show it to you guys in this location. So before I do that, I gotta put on this other hose, which is a small hose. Install that. So that is good and tight now. Now I'm going to show you a close-up. I know you guys already think this is common sense, but I'm just showing to some of you guys that maybe want a different way of doing things. You can see where I put these clamps right here, so it's easier to access it from here. And you could hold it in the back here while you're installing it. And installing this clamp. So I just installed this little radiator line right there. So as far as that goes, all that stuff is good. Now I need to basically get this transmission line aligned, and I'm gonna do the bottom portion first. So it takes a 19 for the transmission line. All of these things have fallen, and it's harder to align things. So I got the top one started. Got the bottom one. Bottom one's a little bit more tricky. There's just not enough places to grip. But I believe I just now got it started. Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to get this thing started by hand. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get them things tight. I had to do the transmission lines off camera, guys, because they're kind of difficult. So at the very first, you'll need to align the bottom one and the top one. Just get the top one slightly tightened. That way, you know, the length of the pipe is, you know, all correct and stuff. And get the bottom one slightly tightened. Once you know that the bottom piece of the transmission line is tightened a little bit, it's going to be very easy, very hard for you to hand tighten it. And if you have a very long range, it will also be hard for you to try to get it tight like that, plus with the top one in the way. Then what you're going to do is you got to remove the top line, because you just put it finger tight, remove it. That way you have access, you know, so slowly but surely get that one on there. So there's a little help that I could offer as far as that goes. There's other wrenches that you could use for this as well, but you know, this is what I have, and I have also some crow feet. And in this situation, a crow foot is just not gonna do the trick. But of course, the top one is easy. You know, it went on with finger tight all the way, pretty much hard, and then you could just, you know, twist this and get it tightened and stuff. But anyways, let's continue. So we're gonna go ahead and get this hose. Make sure it's nice and tight. We're gonna go ahead and actually tighten this one up, because now I know it's not in my way. Everything's fine. So we want to go ahead and get it tight. Sometimes you gotta inspect these hoses. I already inspected this one. There's no rips. If there's a tear, you're also gonna get a PO 299. So you want to make sure that there's no tears. So the O2 sensor, you need to go ahead and plug it up. So we'll just put that slightly out of the way. We have a vacuum line over here. I'm not gonna plug it in just yet, because we gotta route these radiator hoses. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and connect this bottom hose. Make sure I adjusted the clamp so I could actually get it from the top. Now, whenever you disconnect the transmission lines to kind of like pull the radiator out, you're going to lose some transmission fluid. And if you disconnected the power steering lines, you will lose some power steering fluid. So in this situation, with me just taking the radiator out of the way with a complete set, I did not lose any of the power steering fluid. That being said, the transmission fluid we will be draining to begin with, so I'm going to top it off as it's supposed to be once I do drain it. So that's going to be no problem. Just letting you know, guys, some of the things. But if you did disconnect the lines for the power steering pump, your steering wheel is going to be hard to churn. And if it's hard to churn, just add some transmission fluid in here, same one that you use, and that's going to be the end of it. Of course, there's flushes that you could do and stuff that I have in my other videos that will help your steering wheel to churn good. If you didn't do nothing and then all of a sudden the steering wheel is hard to churn. But usually it has to do with a low transmission fluid, you know, that kind of thing. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing connected. So I want to wipe this pipe down a little bit, as much as I can with the rag. That way it's easier to handle, just a little bit cleaner for the customer. It's not going to be perfect, but you will see if there's any new overspray patterns and things of that nature. So now we do have a clamp that goes there, and apparently it's right here. That's the one that goes over here. So you could easily get that clamp from here. So this installs like that. So you just need to push this in. Before you tighten up the clamp, you want to make sure that you actually attach this to the wall where it's supposed to be attached, at least lightly. Here I have the two bolts that was attached. Now I gotta get the correct socket for that. I got the correct socket. Since we're doing it now without no light, best access point is through the light area. Normally I pull the light off in order to do this job, because it's so much easier to do that. Okay, I gotta remove that bolt from my hand. So you can do it by hand, or you can do it with a tool, whatever works. Personally, I prefer to use ratchets. That's what we're gonna do this time. Okay, that's good. Now, before we move on, we want to make sure that this clamp is tight, because right now it's the most easiest for us to get the clamp. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it tight. So that is good. We're getting closer to where we need to. So we unplugged a sensor and the barometric sensor. So we're gonna go ahead and at this point, first of all, what I want to do is I want to just run some dry air through this. Okay. I do have a clean rag, but more like it would be better just to, or really just using like a brake cleaner or something, or one for the sensors would be best. So now I'm gonna install it, and I went in just fine, and now we're installing this one. Want to make sure that it went all the way in. Yes, it did. We also have this sensor, and I'm gonna go ahead and actually install that sensor right there. Okay, so that's for the radiator fluid. So now we're gonna work on getting the radiator hoses installed. So where's that little clamp?